What is ErgoPad? What's it trying to accomplish?
One of the projects we're launching is a DAO toolset, so anyone can create a DAO. We've got some NFT games coming up, so
Awesome.
we've raised some pretty decent funds. Because of the last two sales, we were able to onboard some new devs. We've grown from 2 people to 6 people on our team now. So far, we've completed 2 of the 3 pre-sales that we're doing. Actually, each of which sold out. Sign up was gone in less than 2 minutes.
What? What's going on, Cowboy? In this video, we've got a new crypto project called ErgoPad, and we've got the mind behind it, the founder, the CEO. His name is Marty, and he'll be walking us through why this project is going to change the world, why this project's worth our time and our money investing in it. Look, if you're new to this channel, my name is Aaron. I'm on a journey to my next Bitcoin while helping you to your next Bitcoin. I'm trying to give away Bitcoin actually for the year 2020, so be sure to leave a comment and a like and a subscribe on this channel if you're feeling generous, if you want to try to win that Bitcoin. Anyway, when we're doing research on YouTube, you got to understand that these YouTubers, they don't give a lot of good information. The best source of information for any crypto project, I believe, is from the founder, the developer, the CEO themselves. They could talk about precision and wisdom and all that kind of stuff. And so that's what we have today. We've got Marty here, and he is the founder, the CEO behind ErgoPad. And we need to figure out, hey, is this something that's going to be for you and for me? Because in this bear trend, we need to find only the best crypto projects. And so we've got Marty in the hot seat to talk to us today. Marty, welcome to the hot seat.
Thanks very much. How's it going?
I'm good. I'm excited to get to ErgoPad. But before we get to ErgoPad, I want to know about who you are. Give me a bit of your background story, your origin story about you coming into crypto in the first place.
Sure. So in terms of crypto, I guess I got involved around 2012, 2013. Originally, when I heard about it, I started trying to get Bitcoin. It was so hard to get at the time. You had to go on Craigslist and meet someone on the street and hand them cash.
Back alley behind Burger King.
Yeah, exactly. Some guy rolled up on a bicycle and he's like, okay, so it was crazy back in the day, kind of the Wild West, if you want to put it that way, right?
Yeah.
But, and then I started mining and I figured all that out. And the first coin I actually mined was Dogecoin. We were there at the start. We were sponsoring NASCAR cars and doing that whole thing, tipping everyone on Reddit. And that's kind of where I started. I started early doing that. And I've kind of just always been passionate about the whole like vibe of the thing. Like, it came around in 2008 when everyone was kind of frustrated with the banking system and, money printing and all that stuff. And that's still an issue today, and even more so today in some ways.
Yeah.
So I love the original philosophies of Bitcoin, and I think that Ergo is a really good iteration of that. I don't know, I guess many of your viewers are not necessarily familiar with Ergo, but the Ergo Manifesto and the founder of Ergo stick to a lot of the philosophies, the original philosophies of Bitcoin, and really bring it to the next level. Awesome. So it's kind of an extension of where Ethereum is going with smart contracts. It's meant to be contractual money and cover a lot of those things. So it's kind of where we're at now. We're trying to bring a lot of the DeFi, and that's our MO.
So I'm understanding that ErgoPad is a LaunchPad for the Ergo platform, right? So can you walk us through a little bit of what Ergo is before we even get to ErgoPad?
If anyone's familiar with Cardano and the differences between Cardano and Bitcoin or Ethereum, let's say, Ethereum used an accounting model, which means every smart contract needs to know the entire book, like everyone's values, in order for it to operate. Whereas Cardano takes the Bitcoin approach and uses what's called UTXO. So your transaction really only needs to be between you and the person you're transacting with, or the smart contract. And so that's kind of how Bitcoin worked, but in a Bitcoin UTXO, there's no data. You can't do a smart contract. So Cardano and also Ergo extended the UTXO model to give very predictable contracts with very low fees. There's no gas fees. So where Cardano is a proof of stake version of Bitcoin with smart contracts, Ergo is a proof of work version of Bitcoin with smart contracts.
Gotcha.
There's also some extensions that Bitcoin, the Bitcoin developers have been trying to push through and are sort of succeeding recently with like Schnorr proofs and some technologies that allow for multi-sig wallets and light wallets, which if you were to use a wallet on most blockchains on your phone, that's going to a node on somebody else's computer. So there's always that back and forth between your phone and actually somebody else's software. So what Ergo introduces is light wallets or light nodes, which allow you to run software on your cell phone that interacts with the blockchain directly. So it's called NEPOPOWs, non-interactive proof of work. So he sort of takes the proof of work that's happened in the past, compresses it in a very small thing, so your node doesn't have to sync with the entire network.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone's tried to run their own Bitcoin node, they know it's gigabytes and gigabytes of data, maybe even more now, like in the terms of terabytes, that you have to download first before you can do anything on the blockchain. So that's not feasible for anyone's cell phone. So Ergo introduces a solution to that, and the technology is really moving along. So.
So let me see if I could, my little lizard brain can wrap my brain
Sure.
around this thing. So Ergo seems to be a amalgamation between Bitcoin and Cardano, where it's taking, I guess, elements of Bitcoin, Cardano, and into a smart contract, platform or blockchain. Elements escape me because you just described it. So if you're watching, just go back, right, and listen to exactly what he said. But the thing that you were talking about, this nodes, the light nodes and stuff like that, that on Bitcoin you got to know the whole thing, and you're transacting with just the other person. But these light nodes, you only have to know a little bit about the data, that all the data that's out there. Is that about right? And it's called a neat pow pow.
NEPOPOW, yeah. I guess you could pronounce it however you want. It's a bit of a novel term, but basically it means that instead of downloading the entire book, Bitcoin has been going on since '08, or I think around '08. If you were to run a Bitcoin node, you have to download every transaction that's ever happened
Okay.
since it started. In order to run software that interacts with the Bitcoin blockchain, you have to have all that data stored on your device that's directly interacting with the blockchain.
And that's not possible for a phone. That's why you're saying that, like for Ergo, that's why it works on phones, because it's a light
That's
node.
It's a light node. So what it means is it sort of updates to, I guess it takes all that data and it compresses it. And it's like, okay, well, we have a snapshot maybe 1 month ago that we all agree with. We just have to get to that point. We don't need to store everything before that. We just have to catch up and get enough knowledge that we can agree with other nodes on the network. So the cell phone can have that opportunity to.
Is that as secure? It seems like it's giving up a little bit of security there.
So, I don't understand the technology well enough to describe exactly how it deals with that level of security. The inventor of Ergo is also the inventor of Chainlink.
Oh,
So he's a smart guy, Alex.
yeah.
He really knows his stuff. So I think if somebody were interested in learning a bit more about that, they definitely should start looking into Ergo Manifesto and that technology. I think he's designed a system which lets you still have a safe, trustless interaction with the blockchain without losing your security. So
Makes sense. Makes sense. So now that we know a little bit about Ergo, and if you want to know, if anyone of us wants to know more, just go to like Ergo platform, not I think IO or .com or something like that.
I think it might be .org. I'm not sure, but
That takes us to ErgoPad. What is ErgoPad? What's it trying to accomplish? This is the main point of this interview. So what's ErgoPad?
So having said all that about Ergo, the software's not done yet, right? DeFi is not as robust on Ergo as it is on Ethereum, and it's also kind of on par with Cardano. Still getting there's a DEX now. There's a decentralized exchange on Ergo. There's NFTs. There's tokens. You can do all kinds of things, but there's no real DeFi. There's no flash loans. There's no margin. There's no options. Things like that. There's quite a bit of and nobody's built any software that uses that NEPOPOW thing that I described earlier. So we want to start building that. One of the projects we're launching is a DAO tool set, so anyone can create a DAO. They can distribute that token. They'll be able to distribute a token in various ways. They can have voting mechanisms. We want to build all these things that a lot of it already exists on Ethereum. We want to build it on Ergo because we believe that there's so much functionality that can be unlocked, and it really is the next iteration of blockchain. So that's kind of our goal.
So you're trying to launch and build with other teams the future of the Ergo blockchain or the Ergo platform.
That's right.
Is DAOs, et cetera, et cetera. That's what you're aiming to do.
DAOs, DeFi. We already have an NFT auction house on Ergo, but if we can extend that functionality, OpenSea on Ethereum, where you have a gallery for all NFT artists and things like that. We're working with a project that's creating that for Ergo. So
Gotcha.
There's a lot in the pipeline. There's a lot of stuff coming.
So how do you decide what projects you want to focus on? How big is your team to even take these? I have so many questions, right? Like how do you even decide these projects? You know?
Well, we have actually a small group of people that work with that are the DAO behind ErgoPad. So if we get a project that submits, a proposal to us, how far along are they? How much have they already raised? How much will they need to raise to really build this project? How useful will this project be for the Ergo blockchain? What are the competition? Things like that. We'll assess on a case by case basis. The other thing is we don't necessarily say, okay, you haven't even started, so we're not going to work with you. We kind of say to a team, here's what we need, here's where we can help. Like we have devs of our own, we have a marketing team, things like that. So we can help every project fill in the gaps on what they need, right?
Gotcha. How many launch pads are there on Ergo? Or are you the only one?
I believe we're the only one at the moment.
Wow. Okay. Okay. How many applications do you have usually coming in for applying to be on ErgoPad?
We haven't had that many yet. We haven't even done our own IDO. So that happens January 26th. So far, we've completed 2 of the 3 pre-sales that we're doing. Actually, each of which sold out. Sign up was gone in less than 2 minutes.
What?
So
Awesome.
we've raised some pretty decent funds. Because of the last 2 sales, we were able to onboard some new devs. We've grown from 2 people to 6 people on our team now. Okay. And the next sale should allow us to kind of complete the team and get us underway.
So you got one more sale coming up here, huh?
One more sale. The sign up is on the 15th of January. You'll send your ERG or SIG. Actually, I don't know. I should mention now while we're on the topic, if people aren't familiar, Ergo also has its own stablecoin, and it's an algorithmic stablecoin, meaning you don't need, like with USDT, they have collateral that maybe they may or may not have really. Ergo already has a stablecoin that works and has algorithmic collateral. So it has a trading pair built into the system, which happens automatically and keeps the value stable.
Okay.
So you'll be able to, where I was going with that is, you'll be able to grab ErgoPad tokens with either Ergo or the stablecoin built on the Ergo blockchain.
That makes sense. That's where I was going actually too. So how much what's your percentage or what are your rates? Like, let's say I want to build the Cowboy DeFi protocol on Ergo, and how much do you take? Like 10%, 50%? Is it case by case basis? How's your pricing work?
In terms of the deal between the team that's building it, and that's a case by case because it really depends how much help we're providing. Okay. So we know how much will our devs have to contribute and things like that. So,
I love LaunchPads. I just recently took a fun interest and staking levels to LaunchPads. So I'm staked on 2 LaunchPads, KYC'd, all that kind of stuff, which is great. Like I'm getting access to all these brand new projects that are like awesome. And but there's a lot of like vetting, I guess, in the background. Some are better than others. What's your vetting process for some of these projects? Or at least I know you haven't even launched yet, but what would be your vetting process, I guess, for these projects? Are you going to take every single one? Are you going to case by case basis? Are you looking for a particular niche?
We definitely do case by case basis. It's hard to put it into some specifics, but I guess if I had to try, like one of the things I like about Ergo, the community, is that people are developing a reputation. Even the anonymous devs have a reputation in terms of what they've already provided. Mm-hmm. We've brought on some people who've contributed a lot to the Ergo platform itself. So, if you go through GitHub, you can kind of see what have they already done, what's their reputation on Discord, on Reddit, wherever it may be. We're open to the anonymous, having people be anonymous and decentralized. Gotcha. I think it's a great part of blockchain. And I think reputation means a lot. So we don't need to know what their real name is, but we definitely try to see what have they done in blockchain and, have they done any other projects? Have they asked for money before?
Yeah, it's definitely part of like the spirit of crypto, right? Being pseudonymous, like, hey, it's the whole spirit of crypto. You don't want to be on everyone's radar. A lot of people don't, and plus it freaks people out. People could be, it's crazy. The internet's crazy. People turn out to be way crazy out here. So why did you pick Ergo to be a launchpad? There's so many of these different launchpads. There's the newer ones like Avalanche and this old tried and tested ones. Why did you pick Ergo?
With the ones, I think with the examples you're giving, and a lot of examples out there, they're all proof of stake. Ergo is the only proof of work blockchain besides Ethereum that has smart contracts that I know.
Oh, okay.
There may be others. I think Cardano is trying to do it, but
Hard for me to say. I'm no expert in the blockchains and if they're doing that. So you chose it because it's a proof of work.
it's one of the reasons. I mean, you wanted me to be succinct, but
Yeah.
we'll include all the other reasons as well. But proof of work for me, because proof of stake, in my opinion, transfers wealth to the wealthy.
Oh,
And I could elaborate, but it might be a long conversation.
elaborate. Well, let's journey. Well, like, help me understand why that. Why do you think that is?
If you have, let's say you have a million Avalanche or Solana,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody else has 100,000 of them, and the percentage for staking it is 10%, just to keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
That person with a million gets 10% every year of a million, which is 100K,
Mm-hmm.
and the person with 100K gets 10K a year. So that person with a million who started with a million will exponentially extend the gap in wealth every year forever. There's no market externality. They don't have to spend any money to do that. People have argued against what I'm saying by saying that's the same for proof of work, because if somebody has more than you, they can also buy more mining equipment than you
Mm-hmm.
and extend that gap. But in order to buy that mining equipment, they have to spend that money. So once they have the equipment, sure, they're making more than you, but they don't have that million anymore. And if the equipment fails, or if their government decides that they're not allowed to mine anymore, or they can't get electricity, or
There's a lot more
there's so many,
factors than proof of work that could
so
keep
many
you alive.
factors.
And then
So
with mistake, it's just having the money flat out, and so and that's an infinite amount. People can just keep on stacking.
That's right. So
Okay.
proof of work creates an economic incentive to keep that money system flowing, and externalities exist that can prevent somebody from always having an advantage.
And the opposite side is you're saying that it's just as fast and no transaction fees as well, right?
There's no transaction. Well, there are transaction fees. Pardon me. There's no gas fees,
Or gas fee, sorry, right?
but the transaction fees are quite small. I mean, of course, Ethereum, it seemed, was quite small in the beginning too, because there wasn't that much network use. But with UTXO, it's a lot more predictable.
Okay.
It doesn't change day by day.
And so is that very important? That seems like very important to you then. Why is that so important where you don't want to transfer the wealth? Like the wealth transfer is, why is that an important concept for you?
I think part of it is the wealth inequality, and part of it is the the market externalities to keep the system economically viable.
Okay.
I guess you could look at it like if you had some gold, and that gold just kept growing into more gold for no reason, and you didn't have to go mine it. Why would there be any value there?
That's fair. That's
Eventually, if we're talking a global economy, eventually somebody has to, if you're just inflating the currency at an equal rate for everyone all the time, then you're kind of essentially just all at zero. I don't know. I'm not an economist either,
No,
but
I'm seeking to understand, and I kind of get that. You know what I mean? Like if everyone's just getting money, if the money's just inflating just normally or just without any kind of effort or put into it, then where's the actual? Where you're saying where's the actual value in all of that?
yeah,
Like you're saying moving to Ergo, which is proof of work, there's a bit of a more of an equalizer when you're having to put up the money and deal with, hard assets like the maintenance of all these things.
that's right. Physical assets too.
Yeah. Okay, so you decided on Ergo because of this, and you decided to set out a LaunchPad. What does it take to build out a LaunchPad? I don't even understand. What are all the components of a LaunchPad? You said you only have about 5-6 people on your team. How do they all work? Like, give me all the components to ErgoPad here.
Well, when we started, we need a website, we need a back end, we need a strong development stack to expand upon. We needed smart contracts because when we did the sale, somebody will go to our website and they send us Erg, and the smart contract sends them back the ErgoPad tokens. The other thing is we need vesting contracts, which means each month somebody's, if they bought early, there's a vesting schedule. So each month they're going to get a portion of those tokens. So we built this vesting contract that it will issue those tokens monthly automatically. A lot of IDOs and a lot of ICOs in the past, it's all manually done.
I have to claim it, and I have to set it in a calendar in my calendar and go in and claim
That's
it.
right. Yeah. So we built a vesting contract that will do that automatically.
Oh, awesome! That's great.
So,
Dude, everyone
yeah.
of these guys should be doing that.
right now, Kushti or Alex, the founder of Ergo, is actually auditing our contracts.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
So
If no one knows what vesting is, basically, okay, so if no one knows what a launchpad is, let me just back all the way up here. A launchpad is where teams go to the launchpad, like ErgoPad. They want to say, hey, we need XYZ for our project. And so they set out a launchpad. Usually it's for raising funds. Usually it could be, and it could be for so much more. People buy in early to get the project coins and IDO before they hit the public market. So we get the public. So I just recently became a master at this because this is my latest strategy. Anyway, vesting is where the launchpad will hold off like every month or 2 months or whatever for 6 months to 18 months. I've seen as long, and they'll give out pieces of that allocation of the coin. And then the reason why we don't give them all out at the same time is because people could sell the whole thing and crash the thing, right? So that's why we extend that. And so for me on other launchpads, I have to manually set a date on my calendar. Okay, and then go in there and claim this thing. Okay, claim it. All right, sign the thing. But I love that it's automatic, sends it to my wallet. I mean, I don't know why more people don't do that. It's so crazy.
I'm not sure if I'm not an Ethereum expert or EVM or Solidity expert, but maybe it's just that the way that the code works is not as easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know, maybe nobody's wrote that code yet, but we first had it set up as a claim where you'd have to go in and manually claim it.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, we could do this automatically. One of the developers on Ergo who made the auction house for NFTs, he's like, you guys don't need to do that manually. You can just automatically distribute it. We're like, oh, cool, let's try it. And then, one of my new devs that we brought on, his name's Louis Vatra. He's like, yeah, I can do this. And I think it was like 2 days later, he's like, hey, I did it.
Oh, gosh. you got a good team there. So help me understand something then. What is the next biggest thing, catalyst for ErgoPad? What's the next biggest thing that you're most excited about for ErgoPad? It's January 6th, start of the new year. What are we looking forward to?
Well, we got one more sale this month, so we're excited for that, and then it's going to be right away.
How do I get in the? Because I love LaunchPad, so how do I get in there?
So on the 15th, you go to our website at 1700 UTC, and be quick because it's been under 2 minutes before it sold out last two. But there's going to be a sign-up form. You can go early and check out the form and make sure you have all the details.
Okay.
Because ErgoPad, is backed by a DAO. We don't do KYC. I spoke to some lawyers. They said that based on securities law in my country and in the country of the other people that are involved, if we have the DAO spread between nobody over 50% in any one country owns it, we don't have to KYC.
Oh, awesome.
Because it doesn't fall within one specific jurisdiction. So that's what I've been told with the securities law in my country, so we initiated it that way. So we've got some DAO members who make the major decisions on the treasury. And because of that, we didn't have to KYC. But on the website, because we want to make sure nobody's going, we've got a limit of 20K invested per person. So we're going to ask for your social media accounts, and somebody's going to go check and just make sure nobody's signing up like 10 times to get over that max. So we're not keeping that data. We're not like holding it or anything like that, but we're just going to go check and see, okay, this seems like pretty confident that this is like one person. They didn't sign up 3-4 times, try and get over. And so you'll be able to fill out the form with your social account. You got to get into our Telegram or Discord channel, and then you just write the value that you want to invest.
Okay.
And you'll hit submit, and that'll send off an email to us, and we got a database that we'll be able to go through and check. So that's it. That's the sign up. And then I think, I don't have the timeline in front of me. I think it's like the 20th. You'll be able to go to our website and say, okay, I want to send this much. And it can be less than the amount you signed up for. And you'll hit submit, and the form will give you a smart contract to send the funds to, and exactly how much funds to send to that smart contract.
Okay.
And it'll match those values, and then send you the tokens back.
Do I have to be on the Ergo?
You
block?
do.
Okay.
You need an Ergo wallet, and it cannot be in an exchange. It has to be one that you hold the keys to.
Okay. Okay. So there's a little bit of figuring out to be on a new chain here.
That's right. Yeah, and that's one of our goals too, is to bring people onto Ergo, right?
Yeah.
Because they got to figure out how to use it, get a wallet, and
Yeah.
I think that'll be great because people will get to interact with it a little bit through this process.
For
So
sure, because most of the stuff is right now is playing on BSC or Ethereum and all that stuff.
yeah.
So, yeah. I think the future is multi-chain anyway. Is that everything? Have we talked about everything that ErgoPad is have to offer? Or is there something that we haven't turned that stone and there's still more?
So we're building staking contracts right now. We're
Okay,
gonna have the first staking contract on the Ergo blockchain. As far as I know, we're the first one on Ergo, so we're building the staking contracts right now. You're gonna be able to stake your ErgoPad tokens. You mentioned you're familiar with other launch pads. You know, if you stake and you get that tier, you get the pool weight. So any of the IDOs that we launch in the future, you'll be able to get an early low price if you're staked on ErgoPad tokens.
awesome. Yeah. I love doing that. I love doing that stuff.
Yeah. So you're gonna get your stake tokens. You're gonna get your ErgoPad extra ErgoPad for staking.
Mhm.
But if you meet those tiers, you're also going to get an opportunity to invest in new projects at the lower rate.
Yeah, lower
So
rate, higher pool weight,
that's
higher
right.
allocations, all that kind of stuff.
That's right. Exactly.
I'm about
So
it.
that feature's coming up too. And I mentioned before that there's a decentralized exchange on the Ergo blockchain. So we're going to IDO on that.
Awesome.
And we're also looking into potentially releasing our own exchange on the Ergo blockchain. So
Good deal. Your team is, you said, 6 people deep, right?
that's right. Yeah.
Talk to me about the whales situation. Like, how much do you guys own or are planning to have in your pockets? And I want to know, I just want to know about how much those allocations have been set out for the team.
Okay. So I don't have the numbers in front of me, but the total emission after staking rewards over 3 years will be 400 million tokens. I believe the team's allocation is 24 million
Okay.
tokens, and that'll be spread out quarterly over a year and a half.
Okay. Okay.
So I think and all those details. If you go to the website and you go to the footer there, you'll see documentation.
Oh, good. Good.
If you click on that's essentially our white paper. So that's GitHub Docs. That outlines all the details for you. So, and it also is spread around the website. Like there's a tokenomics page, there's a staking page. So you can check out all those details there.
Good
It's all
deal.
outlined.
Good deal. Yeah. Cool. Is there anything left that we haven't talked about that you want me to know about ErgoPad?
Let's see. So we talked about what's coming next, DAO project. We've got some NFT games coming up. What else is going on? There's a lot. I mean, we just brought those 3 people on board. We're really growing fast. I mean, 2022 is going to be huge for Ergo and ErgoPad. So
Awesome.
come check us out.
Good
Get in my
deal.
Telegram and ask questions too. We're always there. We're always willing to help. So
Good deal, guys. If you're watching this video and you want to get in on LaunchPads, it's honestly one of my strategies is to get in on LaunchPads, stake high, get these pool weights, and get onto these new projects. But even more so with Ergo, it's a brand new, it's a blockchain that no one's on, or at least not a lot of people on, compared to the other chains. So you'd be there early. Something very interesting, and to be on early on a LaunchPad, even better. Check out the links in the description if you guys like what Marty's saying regarding ErgoPad. Marty, thanks so much for being in the hot seat, guys. Lizard brains, gorilla arms, diamond hands. Comment down below if you want to try to win 1 Bitcoin. Well, not the whole thing. Parts of this 1 Bitcoin and try to give it away. And so, yeah, thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Marty, thanks for being here.
thank you. Take care.